Ampetronic. Listen to the difference.
Hello, I am Richard Burnsmith. I am a system design engineer here at Ampetronic. This video will show the steps required to carry out a metal loss test using the Ampetronic HLS-2D portable test amplifier and our Loopworks Measure app. For detailed instructions, refer to the HLS-2D handbook. Start by laying your test loop using some single core cable terminated with 4mm banana plugs. If you are testing a perimeter loop, you should temporarily install the intended loop layout. However, for a multi-loop array, a figure 8 test is recommended. The usual figure 8 loop should have two segments, each 2 meters or 6.5 feet wide, with a 0.5 meter or 1.5 foot gap in between. There should be a crossover in between the two segments, and the layout should extend the full width of the room if possible. In larger spaces, especially if an initial test shows very little loss, then bigger test loops can be used instead. In Loopworks Measure, create a project and system for the room you are testing. Add a suitable amount of test points. We only need 2 here for a small room, as we will test inside each loop segment, but in larger spaces add more positions. Press Start Test and choose Start Site Assessment Test, then give the session a name. Fill in the details of the test loop. The HLS-2D is preset to 2.5 amps current. If you're using the recommended layout, the only difference would be your loop length and construction type. This is just for later reference. Now the test session is set up, we need to connect everything together and start supplying some signal through the loop. Connect the loop circuit into the output of the HLS-2D, then plug in a 3.5mm stereo audio cable to your signal generator or MP3 player. Lastly, we need power. A 12-volt mains power supply is provided with the amplifier, but it can also be used with a suitable battery for truly portable testing as shown here. Turn on the power supply and check that the amplifier power LED lights up. You should also see the input LED light up before gradually fading out. On your MP3 player, press play on the 1 kHz combination tone track and make sure the volume is up high enough to light the input LED. At this point, the current LED will also light up. Select Step 2 of the test procedure in the app. In the room, stand in the middle of your first test loop. Select your first test point and with the R1 receiver held vertically at 1.2 meters height, wait for a peak of signal. Press Save and OK to store a result. Move to the middle of the second test loop, change the test point and save a second reading. During these readings you can ignore the pass or fail verdicts. We are not trying to commission a system to the requirements of the performance standard and would expect most results to fail. Change the signal type on your MP3 player to pink noise and move to step 3 in the app. Save a frequency response reading in each of the same positions as you saved field strength levels. Again, don't worry if this doesn't show a pass. This is everything we need to do with the test loop, so turn off the power to the HLS-2D. Now the amplifier is turned off, we can record a background noise measurement. Move to step 4 on the app and repeat readings at each of the test positions. In this step we do want to see a pass verdict, as it is proving that the background magnetic noise level is low enough to make an induction loop system beneficial. If you are testing on a construction site with temporary power or generators, then the background noise reading may not be valid, as different electrical equipment will be in use when the room is finished. Once the background noise tests are saved, press the Stop Test button. At this point, the results of all your tests will be displayed, so they can be checked before leaving site. To review your results after leaving site, log into your Loopworks account, go to the project and system, then you will see the Site Assessment Test session. Open this session and review the results. Again, remember that we don't need to worry that a passed verdict hasn't been achieved. Click Review and Edit to move the session off the app, and unless you need to add any comments, you can click Save Session straight away. You can also click on any of the verdicts to see the detailed measurement data. Once you're ready, you can issue the session or click Print Draft to get a PDF copy of the data. This PDF can be sent to Ampetronic or your local distributor for analysis, but you can also use the measurements directly in Loopworks Design. There is more detail on how to interpret your results in the HLS-2D handbook, but as we used 2 meter wide loop segments for this test and measured -4.6 dB in one area, we can use a value of 5 dB metal loss for any design with 2 meter wide loops. In Loopworks Design, with all your other system details entered, in the Inputs Design tab, go to Metal Type and select Use Manual Loss. This is where we can type in our calculated loss figure. Now the equipment recommended by Loopworks Design will take into account the actual metal loss measured on your site to ensure the correct amplifier is specified.
Ampetronic. Listen to the difference.